and welcome to Psalmic Saturday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming live right here on YouTube. Moderating for us today are the lovely Heather and the lovely Honeypaw. Thank you so much, moderators, and thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. Hope you are doing great. Sometimes it's hard to do great when things suck, but we're going to make that possible for everyone today because we have powerful magic. Our website's located at arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com, and that's where you can find all of our courses, booklets, lectures, guided meditations, articles, spells, and more. Everything's free of charge at Ariel's Corner, arielscorner.com. While you're there, you'll notice in the header and footer of each page, we have our links to our social media. And two of those links are of interest for many of you, might be of interest to many of you. One is our private Facebook group, and the other is our Discord server. And those are places where you can become a little bit more involved with our community. At the bottom of each of those pages, you'll see also a donate link, which is there for anybody who feels like giving our channel a donation. And another way to donate, if you prefer to use PayPal, is paypal.me/Ariel Gatoga, paypal.me/Ariel Gatoga, or right here on YouTube, you could use a super sticker, super chat, or super thanks if you feel like donating to us. We do appreciate your support. Please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. All of our podcasts are also organized a little bit more easily, for some people anyway, than the playlists on YouTube, and you can find those podcasts at our podcast hub, and that's at arielspodcasts.com, arielspodcasts.com. Another way to support our channel is by heading on over to our shop for exclusive Ariel's Corner merchandise, and you can find that by going to arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com. We so appreciate you being here. We're going to get going on our Psalm spell right away. We do have a premiere right after this stream at 11 a.m. Pacific time, so I better get going so I'm not running late. So here we go. There we go. Today we work... Okay, take two. Words do not fail me today. Today we are working Psalm 33. In Psalm Magic, we frequently hear of Psalm 33 being used to overcome fear, to overcome feelings of being unloved, to unite family, and to bless a family. And today we're going to focus on overcoming fear, but as always, you can use this psalm and the seeds that we discover in it toward any purpose that you bring to this psalm. The way we work Psalm Magic is simple, easy, and effective. We take the psalm that we're working and we speak it out loud all the way through once without stopping. This is commonly known as an incantation. When we finish that, we go back through the psalm and we consider each verse one at a time. We dig for hidden, often called occult, meanings that lie behind each verse. And we do our best to apply what we find there to the situation we've brought to the psalm. Just by doing that, and it doesn't matter how good you think you are at doing that, just by attempting, just by giving it your best try, you're dislodging the magic seeds that exist within the Psalms, and they are thereby planted in the fertile grounds of your deep mind, where they take root, they grow, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that is precisely what you and I are going to do together right now with Psalm 33. Oh, I did not bring my athame. I almost feel like I have to go get it. I think that'll work. Okay, we're going to open that again. And that is precisely what we are going to do together right now with Psalm 33. Rejoice in the Lord, all ye righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. Praise the Lord with harp, sing unto him with the psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings. Sing unto him a new song, play skillfully with a loud noise. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. He loveth righteousness and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. By the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth. He gathereth the waters of the sea together as an heap. He layeth up the depth in storehouses. Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. The counsel of the Lord standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. The Lord looketh from heaven, and beholdeth all the sons of men. From the place of his habitation he looketh upon all the inhabitants of the earth. He fashioneth their hearts alike. He considereth all their works. There is no king saved by the multitude of an host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. An horse is a vain thing for safety, neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death, and to keep them alive in famine. Our soul waiteth for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his holy name. Let thy mercy, O Lord, be upon us, according as we hope in thee. Starting out with Rejoice in the Lord, O ye righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. So this is a teacher. This is the psalmist or the inner teacher talking to us about what we have to do in order to get our need met, why we've come to this psalm. And we've decided to gear this toward overcoming fear. So whatever it is that we're afraid of, we're bringing to this psalm. And it's always good to be specific, not just general fear only, but what exactly are you afraid of the most right now? You can bring that to the psalm and let this psalm do its job. Rejoice in the Lord. The Lord is a symbol of the one power, the one source, the one force in all the universe. It's important to orient to this concept when we work any kind of magic, but specifically psalm magic is great in teaching us to do that and reminding us to do that there's only one force, there's only one power. And it's important that we understand that, because if we believe in opposing forces, then we believe in chaos. And rather than believing in chaos, it's important for us to orient toward the singular force of the universe so that we can be successful in our magic. If we believed in chaos, what would the point of magic be? There's no power behind it. But instead, we understand that the one force, the one source, the one substance in all the universe is all there is. Everything else is but illusion. When we align with the one force, nothing can oppose it. Rejoice in the Lord. To rejoice in something is to bring joy, to bring to mind the joy that you feel about that thing. So when we're rejoicing in this power, we're rejoicing in the understanding that nothing can stand against it. Therefore, there is nothing to fear. O ye righteous, it's speaking to you. You are righteous. It's important that we take the psalm that we're working personally, that we personalize it and internalize it. Every aspect of this psalm is about you personally. So it's talking about you, righteous you. You were created righteous. That's how you were created. You can't uncreate your righteousness, but you can do things to fall asleep to your righteousness. You can do things to convince yourself that you're unrighteous, but the infinite is never snowed by that. The infinite cannot be fooled by that. The infinite only sees you as you are, and that's righteous. Rejoice in the Lord, O ye righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. That's your function. Isn't that nice to know? My function is joy. My function is joy, to rejoice. My function is joy. Why do we want to rejoice in the Lord? Not because we're appeasing some external deity, not at all. Because we are understanding our oneness with this force. That brings us great joy to recognize that. Praise the Lord with harp. Sing unto him with the psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings. To praise something is to acknowledge enthusiastically that it is good. The Lord that we are praising, the Lord represents the one power. It could be said that the Lord is good itself. So to praise the Lord means to acknowledge that good is good. And it's important to acknowledge what is good. How is the Lord manifest in your life? That's the only thing that is real to us. So start to think about what's good. There's a lot to think about in regards to what you're afraid of. There's a lot to come to the psalm with in regards to lists of why you're afraid. But right now, let's make lists of what's good. And sing unto him with the psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings. These are things that you do with your hands. In fact, the instrument of 10 strings could be considered your 2 hands. So you're going to use your voice and your hands. In other words, you're going to use your will and your actions to praise the infinite, to prove to yourself and the world that you acknowledge what is good. Sing unto him a new song. Play skillfully with a loud noise. Stop talking about what you're afraid of for a minute and start talking about what's good. That's the new song. Don't come back with the same old song over and over again. The infinite already knows what you're complaining about. So now the infinite would rather you, instead of complaining, that you use your voice, that you use that internal will, which is what the voice is your will. You use your will in a different way. Sing a new song. And play skillfully with a loud noise. All of your actions, do to your best. Do your very best in the world. Whatever your work happens to be, do it well, because you are dedicating everything you do and everything you say to the infinite. For the work of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. It's important to understand that the infinite is only about truth. The infinite is only about what is right, because there is no such thing as wrong in the infinite's world. So everything that the infinite does is right. Anything that's not right did not come from the infinite, therefore it has no power, and there is thus nothing to fear, other than within the realm of a hallucination or illusion. And the good news is that the infinite's will is not that you be afraid, even within the realm of the hallucination or the illusion. Therefore, the infinite has all power to deliver you from whatever it is you're afraid of, but it must come from you and through you. The infinite will never just do it to you arbitrarily. It must come from you. You must require it, you must request it, and you must participate in it, both with your voice and with your actions. He loveth righteousness and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. So when the infinite loves something, that means that that's what the infinite puts its attention on. The only thing the infinite puts its attention on is righteousness and judgment. The infinite's the only power that is capable of judging, because it knows everything. And the infinite always judges you rightly. It always sees you as righteous, as you were created, no matter what anybody else says about you, and no matter what you say about yourself, and no matter what you have done in the past, and no matter what anyone else has done in the past. Nothing is going to change the infinite's judgment of you, because he loves you righteously, and that's all there is about you. You were created righteous. You can't undo that. You can do a lot of things. You have a lot of power. You have a lot of freedom in how you use your mind. But that doesn't mean that you have the power to undo the infinite's creations. You can't undo your righteousness, but you can create an illusory experience of being unrighteous. And this is what we're asking to be freed from. By the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and by all the by the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth. So the word of the Lord is the same as your word. It's the will of the infinite. So by the will of the infinite were the heavens made. In other words, by the will of the infinite was creation started. And all the hosts of them by the breath of his mouth. It's a poetic way of saying out of that intention, out of that will to create, did everything come forth. He gathereth up the waters of the sea together as an heap. He layeth up the depth in the storehouses. The sea was a very scary thing to the ancients. It's still scary, but we understand it better than they did back then. So the great waters of the sea, the only one that had power over that was the infinite. And he layeth up the depth in storehouses. In other words, the infinite's will cannot be thwarted, and there's nothing that can go up against it. And so whatever you're afraid of, the infinite's got you. Even if you're afraid of the entire sea itself, the infinite's got you. There's nothing to fear. So if you don't have to fear being swallowed up by the sea itself, you don't have to worry about people. You don't have to worry about situations. You don't have to worry about political movements. You don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about whatever it is that you're afraid of, because the infinite's got you, because you're working properly now. You are aligning yourself properly. Let all the earth fear the Lord. Did I forget something? No, I guess not. Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. The earth, in this sense, when we're working psalm magic, is your objective reality. It's your created reality. It's whatever the manifestations in your life are. So we want those things to fear the Lord. In this case, it means that those things become activated. For the manifestations in your life to fear the Lord, they start to tremble, they start to vibrate, they start to change according to the will of the infinite. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. Now, it could be stated in the psalm, if you were looking at it from a religious point of view, it's talking about all the people that live on earth are supposed to be afraid of the Lord, or supposed to have the fear of the Lord. There is that way of looking at it, and that's very valid. But we're looking at this magically right now. So when we're talking about the inhabitants of the world, we're talking about all your thoughts about your life, all your thoughts about the manifestations in your life. I'm afraid that I won't have enough money. I'm afraid of whatever it is that you're afraid of. I'm afraid of this disease. I'm afraid of this economy, whatever you're afraid of. Those are the inhabitants, because it's your thoughts about it. It's telling you that those thoughts need to start having the fear of the Lord. And the fear of the Lord simply means experiencing the presence of the infinite. The fear of the Lord is an ecstatic feeling when you feel the presence of the infinite. And when you choose to transfer your attention from your problem to the experience of the presence of the infinite, then the earth does start to tremble. The earth does start to change. For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. And that's all that matters. You understand that the infinite's word creates. And since you and the infinite are one, and since you are now putting your attention on the infinite rather than whatever the manifestation is that you're afraid of, or the potential manifestation that you're afraid of, all of those inhabitants of the earth, all of your ideas about what's going on in your life are now reoriented to the presence of the infinite. That gives a thoroughfare through which the infinite's will can affect your life, because the infinite will never come up against your free will. But if you're turning your thoughts about these things to the thought of the presence of the infinite, that gives the infinite the full right of way to change your circumstances. And when he changes your circumstances, it's described here by For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. Now remember, all the people, when we're working on a spell, are your thoughts. The people are your thoughts. The heathen are the thoughts of the ego mind. Those are those errant thought forms that are self-destructive in nature. They're not talking about people who identify religiously as heathen. That's not part of this. It's very specific when we're working psalm magic that heathen represent your own self-destructive thought forms. So it's saying that the Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught, that when those thought forms of self-destruction come together to try to harm you, the infinite's saying, that's not going to work out for us. It's not going to work out for you. Those things are not going to come to pass because you have given me right of way. You have turned your thoughts away from those fears and turned your thoughts to me. Therefore, now I have right of way. And so you don't have to worry about those self-destructive thought forms manifesting anymore because you've disempowered them. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. The people meaning the thoughts in your mind. So those negative thoughts, those destructive thoughts, all of that have no power anymore. So you don't have to worry about, all the negative thoughts that you carry about with you and all of that and worrying about your thoughts creating negative realities for yourself anymore. You don't have to worry about that. The only thing you have to do is take your thoughts and turn them away from your fears and turn them toward the presence of the infinite, and that takes care of it for you. Then the Lord takes over from there. The counsel of the Lord standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. So we can think of the counsel of the Lord as the teaching angels, as the host of heaven. So the counsel of the Lord standeth forever. That means that there's nothing that can undo the will of the infinite, and the will of the infinite is that you have all kinds of support at all moments of time and points of space, the counsel of the Lord, and the thoughts of his heart to all generations. So the thoughts, the idea that the infinite has a deep mind, just like us, the thoughts of the infinite's deep mind are pure. The thoughts of the infinite are pure. And the thoughts of the infinite are that which heals, that which saves, that which restores, that which brings things to their rightness, their righteous expression. And this is it says to all generations. To all generations can mean so many things, but for us today, it's you don't have to worry about your past thinking. You don't have to worry about your future thinking. You don't have to worry about what happened in the past. You don't have to worry about what's coming. It's all taken care of. You don't have to worry about it. It's all handled. And all you had to do was take your mind away from the fear and put your mind on the presence of the infinite, and all the rest of it's taken care of for you. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. So the nations in your mind are the overarching thought forms. So each thought form that is blessed are the thought forms which are of the infinite. The thought forms which are of the infinite. And the way that you get those thought forms activated is by taking your focus off of your problem, off of the manifestation of what you're afraid of, and turning your focus onto experiencing the presence of the infinite. And then those thought forms are blessed. And the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. In this case, you can look at it in several ways. First and foremost, you as the soul that was created by the infinite, you are his inheritance. You are the infinite's inheritance. You'll never be disowned. You'll never be left behind. You'll never have any worry about that. But you do also have free will, so the infinite will let you think anything you want to think. But when you get your mind right, when you get your mind focused on the infinite can give you your inheritance here and now. Also, the inheritance, what did I do? Also, where it says, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance, those are the thoughts in your mind. Remember, the thoughts in your mind are what are called people in the Psalms. So if you allow the infinite to choose the thoughts in your mind which are in alignment with the will of the infinite for you and let go of what's not, then your problem is solved instantaneously. The Lord looketh from heaven, he beholdeth all the sons of men. All the sons of men in this case represent everything that comes out of you. Remember, you are, where it says, the Lord looketh from heaven. Okay, so we think about where heaven is. Heaven is within you. Think of it like right behind your heart. That's a great place to think of it. So heaven is deep within you, and the infinite lives in there and expresses itself as you. That's a good way of thinking of who the infinite is and what heaven is, rather than something separate and distinct from you. So when the Lord looketh from heaven, that means extends itself as you, and beholdeth all the sons of men. There's a couple ways to look at that. For you personally, beholdeth all the sons of men, meaning everything that then you create in turn. So the infinite extends itself as you out of love, and then when you're in your right mind, you extend from love and make your own creations, and so on and so on. That's the sons of men. Also, it's saying that another way of looking at this is you're created in the moment as being an extension of the infinite, just like everyone else. Just like everyone else. A couple ways to look at that. Okay. From the place of his habitation, he looketh upon all the inhabitants of the earth. So where the infinite is very close to you, within you. That's where the kingdom of heaven exists. And from this place, the infinite is looking upon all the inhabitants of the earth, everything in your objective reality. The infinite knows it's there. He fashioneth their hearts alike. He considers all their works. So if you give the infinite right of way, as was instructed in this psalm how to do, then all you have to do is co-create with the infinite and allow the infinite to do its work. Allow the infinite to do its work through you. And you can see everything changing very rapidly before your eyes in the objective world, in the so-called earth, in the manifest world that you experience. There is no king saved by the multitudes of an host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. In other words, don't look outside of you for mightiness. Look within you, because that's where it exists, because that's what creates you in the moment. You are already one with the mightiest force there is. Anything else that you're looking for outside of you is actually temporarily disconnecting you from this source, because you're looking in the wrong place for the power that you need. And horse is a vain thing for safety, neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. Same kind of idea. The more power you assign to things out in the world, the less you are receiving the help that you need, because you are disconnecting in your mind from the source which is within you to something outside of you. And you can't be in both worlds at the same time. You're either in the world of the infinite or you're in the world of the manifest. Now, you can experience the world of the manifest from the point of view of the infinite, and that's what this psalm is teaching us how to do. Or you can disconnect from your source in your mind and look out in the world as if everything is separate, and then try to find something in the world that's going to help you, save you, give you power, etc. And that's what it's instructing us to avoid. Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy. The eye of the Lord is the watchfulness of the infinite that helps you no matter what. There's nothing too big or too small that you can be helped from the infinite about. Okay, there's nothing too big or too small about which you can be helped by the infinite. That's the eye. But you have to fear the Lord. Again, that does not mean to be afraid of this force. It means to experience the presence of it as real, here and now, feeling the ecstasy of the reality of the presence of this force. upon them that hope in his mercy. So if you understand that the infinite's going to solve this, just like everything else that you bring to these Psalms, that's the mercy, it's the solving of the problem, it's the manifestation of the desire. So if you understand that through the infinite that is within you, anything and everything is possible, that's what hoping is understanding that hoping in his mercy, anything is possible if you have faith in the power. To deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. So the soul doesn't die, but it's not talking about the soul the way we do here. In the soul in the Psalms represents the deep mind or the subconscious, or sometimes called the unconscious mind, and that's where all the power of the of creation exists. Whatever we have in our deep mind is what we experience on the screen of space. So if you're going to deliver the soul from death, that means that you're taking the concept of death out of the mind, out of the deep mind. And to keep them alive in famine is an example of the miraculousness that you can experience when you no longer are experiencing your life from these ego-based ideas of death. Because the ego-based ideas of death are all about being separate from your creator. Once you recognize that you're one with your creator, you're no longer worried about things like that. And then that's how you're kept alive from famine. That's an example of big problems in your life, whatever you're afraid of, whatever it is. It doesn't have to technically be famine. Whatever it is, it's not going to be a problem for you. Our soul waiteth for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. To wait upon the Lord means I'm not going to act all by myself. I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to ask for guidance. I'm going to be a co-creator with this force. I'm not going to do it all by myself, nor am I going to sit back and just let God do it. We are going to be a team here, and I'm going to get my instructions, and I'm going to know what to do, and I'm going to do it. Remember the instrument of 10 strings. I'm going to use my abilities to do what I'm taught, what I'm guided to do. And your voice was talked about before. And my will is going to be centered on doing what I'm told to do, or what I'm guided to do. Not because I'm some slave to an external deity, but because I've partnered with ultimate wisdom. For our heart shall rejoice. And then he is our help and our shield. So that's kind of just self-explanatory. Whatever it is that we're afraid of, we don't have to worry about it because this force is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him because we have trusted in his holy name. So the heart rejoicing in the infinite, that means that we habitually have this joy now. It's our norm. It's our baseline. Our baseline is joy now because our heart, our deep mind, is habituated to rejoice in the infinite. And the way you get to that habituation, that habit, the way you form the habit of rejoicing in the infinite is to trust in the holy name. To trust in the holy name means to meditate on the qualities of the infinite. Just meditate on what they are. And we have a ton of different videos on the qualities of the infinite, so you can go through those in your mind. That's trusting in his holy name. Let thy mercy, O Lord, be upon us according as we hope in thee. So to the degree that we have utter faith in this magic, do we have success? So let thy mercy, O Lord, be upon us. In other words, let the spell I'm casting be manifest quickly, easily, and effectively, according to the degree of faith that I have in you and in us together. And so you just keep coming back to this psalm once a day until you start to get a sense that all is working out in whatever the situation is. I feel it like a click. That's how I feel it. But once you get this sense of peace and certainty that your spell has been cast, that you're no longer worried about it anymore, then just stop thinking about it. Move on to something else and let it do its thing. Let it manifest as it will. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I so appreciate you. Until next time, blessed be. I was so worried we were going to run out of time. I kind of rushed, but I think I got through it all, and we even have a couple minutes to spare. See if we have any questions. It looks like we have one. Ariel, I have not been into cursing, but after listening to your lecture, if I cursed, it may be like curse myself to not be in an abusive relationships or not to live in poverty. You don't want to curse yourself. The idea of cursing is cursing the thought form of whatever that was. So you'd be cursing the idea of abuse. You'd be cursing the idea of poverty in that regard. And if you're working with a psalmic curse, which is the only kind of curse that I use and that I recommend, it's not a curse in the way that we do it when we just do it all by ourselves, which puts us at odds with something. When we're doing it with a psalm, we're doing it as a means by which we are basically pressing charges against something or someone by bringing it to the infinite. And then we let the infinite handle it through us, and we're taught, we're guided, we're taught what to do. But we're not just writhing in anger and hatred over someone by cursing them. It's not the same kind of cursing in that regard. The psalmic curses are recognizing that whatever it is in our life that needs to be taken care of, we are pressing charges. We are bringing it to the infinite to handle on our behalf. Just like if somebody was criming, you might make a complaint and press charges with the district attorney to take care of that. And it's up to the district attorney whether or not they take care of it. But if you're cursing poverty, of course you're gonna get the good verdict. It's not the infinite's will that you have poverty. If you're cursing abuse, of course that you're going to get the infinite's just verdict, because it's not the infinite's will that you be abused. So hopefully that helps. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope you can all make it to our premiere that's happening in about 6 or 7 minutes. And thank you so much to the amazing moderators, Heather and Honeypaw. And we'll see you all over on our premiere, and then tomorrow for the live stream lecture on Soulful Sunday. Until then, blessed be.